The author of the Nibelungenlied is not known. The author is thought to have been male, possibly an Austrian from the Danube region, either a minstrel poet, a knight, or a clergyman associated with court life. Some critics expressed doubt that the author was a knight, primarily because the epic does not contain convincing or extensive details about military skills and technique, despite the numerous battle scenes. Critics believe that the final version of the poem was written by only one author because of its consistency in tone, language, and action. It was conventional at the time not to sign literary works. In fact, many written works that survive from Middle Ages are anonymous. The Nibelungenlied was the first heroic epic put into writing in Germany, helping to found a larger genre of written heroic poetry. The poem's tragedy appears to have bothered its medieval audience, and very early on a sequel was written, The Nibelungenkrieg, which made the tragedy less final. The poem was forgotten after around 1500, but was rediscovered in 1755. Dubbed the German Iliad, the Nibelungenlied began a new life as the German national epic. The poem was appropriated for nationalist purposes and was heavily used in anti-democratic, reactionary, and National Socialist propaganda before and during the Second World War. Burgundians, large East Germanic tribe or group of tribes that lived in the time of Roman Empire in the region of Germania that is now part of Poland. Xanten is a town in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany. It is located in the district of Wesel. Worms is a city in Rhineland-Palatinate, Germany, situated on the Upper Rhine about 60 kilometers south-southwest of Frankfurt am Main. It had approximately 82,000 inhabitants as of 2015. St. Peter's Cathedral, Roman Catholic Church and former cathedral in Worms, southern Germany. Rhine, one of the major European rivers, which has its sources in Switzerland and flows in a mostly northerly direction through Germany and the Netherlands, emptying into the North Sea. The river begins in the Swiss canton of Graubünden in the northern Swiss Alps. Hungary is a landlocked country in Central Europe, spanning 93,030 square kilometers in the Carpathian Basin. It borders Slovakia to the north, Ukraine to the northeast, Romania to the east and southeast, Serbia to the south, Croatia and Slovenia to the southwest, and Austria to the west. Danube is Europe's second longest river, after the Volga. It is located in Central and Eastern Europe. Always bath in dragon's blood in the spring or summer, never in autumn. If another man asks you to beat up his wife because she doesn't love him, just say no. If you do beat up his wife, don't take her ring and give it to your wife. If everyone is going around everywhere whispering and getting really quiet when you enter their room, you should worry. If your wife sews your clothes, make sure she doesn't embroider any X over the only part of your body that is not invulnerable. Kriemhild is a princess of Kingdom of Burgundy whose family rules from Worms beside the Rhine. She is famously beautiful and charming, desired by many knights, though it transpires that she is also calculating, with a long memory for wrongs and bottomless capacity for revenge. Gunther, a renowned warrior and king of Burgundy. Gunther is the brother of Kriemhild, Gernot, and Geisler and son of Dankrat and Wout. The senior Burgundian king, he rules from Worms beside the Rhine. Siegfried is the prince of the Netherlands, son of Sigmund and Sieglind. He is a handsome knight famed for his valiant exploits. Brunhild is Queen of Iceland, a maiden renowned not only for her great beauty, but also for strength and athletic ability, surpassing that of any man who has tried to win her. She demands that her suitors defeat her in 3 contests: javelin throwing, weight throwing, and leaping, in order to gain her hand. Hagen is a vassal and Burgundian kings Gunther, Gernot, and Geisler. He is known as a particularly fearsome warrior. Etzel is the widowed king of Hungary. Because he is pagan, he doubts that the Christian Kriemhild will consider marrying him, but hopes that his extravagant wealth might persuade her. Rudiger is the Margrave and Lord of Pocklarn, Austria. A vassal of Etzel's, Rudiger volunteers to act as envoy when Etzel decides to ask the widowed Kriemhild to marry him. Dietrich is the Lord of Goths who live in exile in Etzel's court. He is one of the only characters who seems aware of the long-term effects of people's actions and who ultimately rises above the cascade of violence at Kriemhild's festival. Hildebrand is Dietrich's faithful master-at-arms. When Dietrich learns on Rudiger's death, he sends Hildebrand and his vassals to investigate, but they are provoked to fight, and Hildebrand slays Volker. A renowned warrior and king of Burgundy, Gernot, is the brother of Kriemhild, Gunther, and Geisler and son of Dankrat and Wout. A renowned warrior and king of Burgundy, Geisler, is the brother of Kriemhild, Gunther, and Gernot and son of Dankrat and Wout. Wout is the great queen of Burgundy, wife of Dankrat, and mother of Kriemhild, Gunther, Gernot, and Geisler. She is largely in the background of the poem. Ortwin of Metz is nephew of Hagen and Dankrat, a vassal of Burgundian kings, and serves as king's seneschal in the Burgundian court. He is hot-blooded and wants to take up arms against Siegfried when the latter first arrives in Burgundy. Volker of Alzey is a noble lord known as the minstrel because he plays the viol. He is Hagen's faithful comrade in arms throughout the bloodbath in Etzel's court. Sigmund is king of the Netherlands, husband of Sieglind and father of Siegfried. Although he has misgivings about his son's plan to woo Kriemhild, he sends him off to Burgundy with due honor. Sieglind is queen of the Netherlands, wife of Sigmund, and mother of Siegfried. She fears that her son will lose his life in his quest to Burgundy, but sends him off with due honor. Siegfried, heir to the throne of the Netherlands, has gained possession of the Nibelung hoard, which is guarded by Albrecht. He mounts his steed to ride Kriemhild, Princess of Burgundy, with the intent to woo. Her brother Gunther has been warned by the Burgundian retainer, Hagen, against allowing Kriemhild to enter into such a union, but the thing is done, and as such the hoard is handed over to Kriemhild as part of the marriage bargain. Another part of the bargain is that Siegfried agrees to help Gunther in his pursuit to pitch woo at the very beautiful and very strong Brunhild, Queen of Iceland. The winning of Brunhild requires that Siegfried reveals his faithfulness for marriage through a series of exhibitions of his strength. Gunther managed to succeed in these trials, but only with the assistance of Siegfried, hidden behind a cloak of invisibility. Brunhild remains suspicious and not particularly excited about the marriage to Gunther, but the double wedding goes off as planned. When it comes to consummation, Gunther is forced to turn once again to Siegfried for assistance, and while so engaged, Siegfried dares to steal Brunhild's ring and girdle. Even worse, from Brunhild's perspective, he hands these prizes over to his lady-love Kriemhild. Another part of the bargain is that Siegfried agrees to help Gunther in his pursuit to pitch woo at the very beautiful and very strong Brunhild, Queen of Iceland. The winning of Brunhild requires that Siegfried reveals his faithfulness for marriage through a series of exhibitions of his strength. Gunther managed to succeed in these trials, but only with the assistance of Siegfried, hidden behind a cloak of invisibility. Brunhild remains suspicious and not particularly excited about the marriage to Gunther, but the double wedding goes off as planned. When it comes to consummation, Gunther is forced to turn once again to Siegfried for assistance, and while so engaged, Siegfried dares to steal Brunhild's ring and girdle. Even worse, from Brunhild's perspective, he hands these prizes over to his lady-love Kriemhild. Much worse from Siegfried's perspective is that during a quarrel between the two queens, Kriemhild let slip what occurred in her wedding chamber, and this stimulates Hagen to kill Siegfried on the assumption that Gunther's honor has been shamed by this act of treachery. Later, the now widowed Kriemhild remarries. The groom this time around is none other than a Hun named Edsel. Although he is much better known outside the realm of this saga as Attila, Kriemhild has married the king of Huns expressly for the purpose of realizing her revenge plot against Hagen and to secure once again possession of the hoard which have in the interim sunk to the bottom of the Rhine, courtesy of her own brothers. Kriemhild arranges for her brothers to visit the court of Edsel, the Hun, where they are immediately attacked. Despite being outnumbered and overcome, however, they remain surprisingly tight-lipped in regard to where they hid the hoard, and so they are killed. Hagen is the last remaining survivor who is aware of the exact location of the hiding place of the hoard, but he too is killed. In fact, he dies at the hand of Kriemhild using the sword of the Hagen killed. Her dead husband Siegfried. In turn, Kriemhild is slain by Hildebrand, retainer in the service of the Hun, Hetzel. The Nibelungenlied is singularly unique among all the great national epics of literature in that the figures are set up to end as heroes by the end of the part 1, when up losing all the sympathy and admiration they have gained by the end of part 2, to the point where they are not actually villains. They are certainly less than heroes. If a national epic is designed to provide insight into the character of the culture it seeks to portray, They share a strain of fundamental pessimism about the human condition that dooms everyone alike to a violent end. Or, possibly, that chivalry and honor are all well and good when applied to an imaginary utopian ideal. But in the real world, the driving force is always revenge against wrongs. This may be the key to understanding the Nibelungenlied. By the time of the bloodbath, which brings the proceedings to a close, one is the honor-bound codes of chivalry from the Frankish epics. Gone are the intrusion of gods into the petty lives of mortals found in the ancient Greeks and Roman epics, which lend those lives in a certain dignity in the face of pettiness of gods. And absolutely nowhere to be seen in the round table of equality and hope for a better future for marking the Arthurian cycle. By the end, the most loyal characters have become the most treacherous and overriding emotional drive, kicking the narrative into high gear is the most frigid cold slice of revenge ever served.